Okay, welcome back. This is going to be part 84 of my presentation of the flood and Noah's Ark. And we just finished up with the mammoths. And before we continue on, real quick, I just wanted to kind of clarify something, just in case I don't want anybody to mistake what I said on my previous video. If you notice on the screen here, I was talking about this graveyard of about 160 woolly mammoths in Siberia. And then after that, at the bottom there, I talked about, do elephants have like a graveyard of elephants? And that the elephants travel to go die. And I said that does not, they don't, that's not true. They don't do that. I don't want somebody to misinterpret what I'm saying. The graveyard above, that's different. That's different. Those elephants, that's just where they buried at, whether it was Noah's flood or after the ice age. That's just where their bones just ended up at and just all piled up and just had a big graveyard of them. That's completely something different than an elephant. The old, you've heard the legends of elephants going to a specific spot and dying, a graveyard, like that, like we would have a cemetery where we bury people. And so elephants go to a certain area to die. And so that's not true. That's not true. There's nothing that supports anything like that. And that the studies that they showed that the graveyards often resulted from a family of elephants drinking from water holes that were too salty or poisoned by natural causes. And so that's the reason why you would have, just a whole bunch of elephants dead in one little area. And so it was just caused by natural causes, not because they went there specifically to die. And so, but at any rate, I just wanted to clarify that, because when I was editing it yesterday, I don't want someone to think, okay, misinterpret that to where the graveyards above didn't actually exist. No, those exist, but the bottom one does not exist, where elephants go somewhere to specifically, intentionally end their lives. They go there to die. And so, but at any rate, we're going to continue on, and we're going to be talking about the Brea Tar Pits. If you'll notice on the screen here, this is where it is. And so you got California there, and you got that red dot there, the La Brea Tar Pits and Museum. And so this is a close-up of it. And you got the museum there where that red dot is, and then you got the lake pit at the La Brea Tar Pits, and that's the pit there. And so now, just to let you guys know that I may not be going into a tremendous amount on this, at least I don't think I am. There may not be a whole lot into this for the whole proven the flood and Noah's Ark and creationism as a whole, but it's mainly to give you guys some information about it. Though, anybody that has seen any of my material knows that I'm a young earth creationist, and so I don't believe any of this stuff took millions of years to form. And so, but the information I have will still be valuable to you. And so now let's go into some information on this. The photograph below was taken around 1910 and was called the Salt Creek Oil Fields, which is 7 miles west of Los Angeles. Today, this spot is downtown Los Angeles. Secular dating gives these tar pits an age of 40,000 to 8,000 years ago. Tar from the La Brea Tar Pits was used for thousands of years by local Native Americans as a glue and as waterproof caulking for baskets and canoes. Let's look at some more information. The La Brea in Spanish means the tar/pitch. The way it is presently stated as La Brea Tar Pits is double speaking. It's a double speaking because La Brea means the tar and pitch. It says, it's almost like you're saying Tar Pits. But at any rate, the tar pits were first reported on a ranch by Spanish explorer Gaspar de Portola in 1769. That same year, Juan Crespi, who recorded Portola's expedition, calls it Springs of Pitch in his diaries. The ranch owner, Major Henry Hancock, was selling the natural asphalt to pave roads and waterproofing houses. Even though the first publicly reporting of skeletal remains was not until 1875, Hancock had been collecting bones and teeth on the property for years. People assumed the remains were of modern day animals, just unlucky cattle that just got stuck in it, until the early 1900s. And I also found 1901 was another one, another date. Or 1901 is more of a specific date that I found. When geologists from the University of California at Berkeley discovered they were the bones, not fossilized, of extinct species. In 1913, Hancock's son gave excavation rights to the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County for 2 years. Some 750,000 specimens from 96 sites were collected. Later, the family were granted the 23 acres of tar pits to the county for continuing research ever since. The biblical worldview of the pits puts the tar pits in the post-flood ice age, forming long after the flood. Now, several events had to take place in sequence. About 1,000 feet beneath the park lies what is known as the Salt Lake oil field. This pool of oil is stored in sandy layers deposited across the Los Angeles basin. But the oil didn't originate there. Marine algae buried in mudstone deeper down first had to produce the oil. Then the oil had to migrate up to be stored in the sandy beds. Earth movements then pushed the sand layers upward into an arc, helping to pond the oil into this pool. Next, the moving earth also caused a fault to form at the crest of the arc, known as the 6th Street Fault. And it says, La Brea is located on 6th Street. Afterward, sometime during the rapid post-flood ice age, Pleistocene, glacier water then deposited about 200 feet of alluvium at silt and clay over this entire area, sealing all the layers below. Earthquakes, which have made Southern California infamous, eventually opened fractures in the alluvium, enabling crude oil to leak up to the surface, where it collected in pools. There, methane and other gases bubbled off. The lighter petroleum evaporated or biodegraded, leaving the heavier bituminous residue. Strictly speaking, it is not tar, which is a man-made product, but natural asphalt. It is very sticky. This sticky death trap arose quite recently after a long series of geologic events late in the rapid post-flood ice age, after the ice age alluvium was deposited. And this was by Dr. Andrew Snelling, PhD in geology, Director of Research at Answers in Genesis. Now, I will say this, Dr. Andrew Snelling, he will not be a stranger later on. We're going to talk. He's going to give some more information when we start getting into the location of Noah's Ark. But this guy right here, guys, is a well-educated guy, and he knows what he's talking about. And I believe his nationality is from Australia, is an Australia background. And so, but anyway, going on. Once something got trapped in the tar, natural decay and scavengers ate the flesh, while the sticky chemistry preserved the bones, that they remained almost unchanged for their original state, with 80% of the original bone fiber, collagen, still in them. Details were so well preserved, they were able to see where nerves and blood vessels traveled and where tendons and ligaments were attached. Researchers could also see if there were any diseased, injured, healed bones and teeth. The tar made its way into all parts, deep inside the sinuses of the skulls and marrow cavities of the bones. The teeth showed evidence of wear and contained plant fragments. Nearly articulated bones are visible. And articulated means that they're together. The bones are together. Disarticulated, which sometimes you'll hear me talk about that in fossil graveyards. If something is disarticulated, that means the bones are not together. They're not together. So researchers could see how they fit together. So far, around 600 species have been found in the pits, including 60 plus mammal species, 130 plus bird species, and 400 plus reptile, fish, and insect species. Even a quick perusal of the list shows an assemblage much different from anything you'd find today. It includes creatures no longer native to our hemisphere, including 2 species of elephants, mammoths, and mastodons, camels, and western horses, which were extinct by the time the conquistadors arrived in their European horses in the 17th century. Now, I will say this, mastodons being in that lower area, unglaciated area, could hold some evidence to what Michael Ord is saying about the mammoths living in unglacial areas, living in glacialized areas. And so, at any rate, and it could be also evidence showing where Dr. Walt Brown was talking about how the mammoths were not built for the cold. And so, at any rate, they found evidence of mammoths and mastodons. Let's see. Other extinct animals are closely associated with the Ice Age, such as the saber-toothed cats, Smilodon, and second most common fossil found in the pits. Hundreds of thousands of bones have been found and is the California state fossil. And so I guess the saber-toothed cat is the state fossil. And so, but usually when you talk about the Brea Tar Pits, usually they picture a saber-toothed cat in there. But at any rate, dire wolves, ground sloths, reached 10 feet tall, the ground sloths, that is, reached 10 feet tall and weighed up to 1,000 pounds. And the condor-like teratorns, which were even bigger than modern condors. Historical records report that some species, including all identified snake species, at least 16, have lived in the Los Angeles area in the past, even if not observed there today. Fossilized amphibians, including toads, frogs, and species of salamander, are still found in the area today. Most of the fossilized land snails are still found in California today, living at elevations between 4,000 and 10,000 feet in the cooler, moisture climates. What can we learn from this? Clearly, these creatures lived not long ago, but the climate in Los Angeles area was much cooler and wetter. 90% of the mammal fossils found represent carnivores. Most of the bird fossils are also predators or scavengers. Other animals found, American lions, pumas, lynx, jaguars, coyotes, dogs, foxes, short-faced bears, black bears, grizzly bears, bison, camels, llamas, tapirs, deer, pronghorn, antelope, skunks, weasels, badgers, hog-like peccaries, rabbits, squirrels, rats, mice, moles, shrews, and bats, birds and grebes, herons, egrets, waterfowl, storks, vultures, condors, eagles, including the golden and bald eagles, kites, hawks, falcons, quails, turkeys, cranes, shorebirds, gulls, pigeons, doves, roadrunners, owls, woodpeckers, larks, jays, ravens, crowns, goldfinches, thrashers, towhees, and sparrows. They have one of the largest collection of bird fossils in the world. At least at the last census in 1992, as a whole, the collection exceeded 3.5 million specimens. Most of the insect fossils were recovered from the brain cavities of larger vertebrate skulls, suggesting the carcasses had decomposed slower over months, showing this did not occur during the flood. Blowflies and flesh flies appear soon after an animal dies, followed by numerous beetles as they find in the skulls. In 1914, near the surface of one of the tar pits, pit number 10, Rancho La Brea Tar Pits, 6 to 10 feet down, portions of a human skull and the individual skeleton was found. At the time of these notes, this is the only human remains found at the tar pits. Forensic examination determined that the skeleton belonged to a female who stood 4 feet 8 inches tall. By looking at her dental samples, scientists believe she ate a diet of stone ground meal. There is a debate on the age of the female. Ages given range from 17 to 30 years old. Secular timeline gives the skeleton an age of 10,220 years to 10,250 years before the present era. Her death is also debated. At first, researchers thought she was trapped in the tar by accident. Then traumatic injury to her skull was noticed that looked to be from a grinding stone that was recovered nearby. Researchers have also found human artifacts scattered around, like three broken darts and the wooden blunt foreshaft for an atlatl dart. An atlatl-using people once inhabited Southern California. Fossil bones found with cut marks indicate that the earliest human inhabitants used those darts to hunt and kill some of the large animals. Now, this is what an atlatl looks like. The atlatl is the spear thrower. The spear thrower, and just a unique tool there. It is not a bow and arrow. It is used to enhance the speed of an arrow. The speed of a spear, javelin, or dart. In Nahuatl, atlatl translates to water thrower or spear thrower, indicating its primary function as a tool for launching projectiles. Okay, we're going to stop right there, and that's the information that I have on the La Brea Tar Pits for what it's worth. At least you got a little bit of background on it, what was found there, and kind of the background on it. And so just a really wild area. I wonder if the area just continually just smells like tar all the time. I guess that maybe the locals have just gotten used to it. But it would be a fascinating place to visit. But next time we come together, we're going to look at the Lost Squadron. So you guys take care. I love you. Hope the Lord blesses you real good. Bye-bye.